Let's begin indeed. Hello people, Sujaro speaking. World Crazy Bunch Web Show's number 131. Territory not 1, not 2, but 3, 4, 5. Excuse me, 6, 8, 9, 10 depth topics along with some news report about Sesame Street. So let's do it now, shall we? So we got for us. Let's talk about John Laws. Born Richard John Sinclair Laws. He was an Australian radio announcer who had a broadcasting career spanned 71 years. Steady voice earned the nickname Golden Tonsils. Born August 8th, 1945, Raw, Jerry, New Guinea, now known as Papua New Guinea, something like that. His career began best known for this talkback radio broadcaster. Laws was Australia's high-paid radio personality and was involved with Australian talkback radio broadcasting. Now longer than any other president something like that. Anyway, though regularly commentating on travel news something like that. Laws did not regard himself as a journalist, but as an entertainer and salesman. He was nonetheless one of the few commercial radio personalities who interviews such as state and federal political leaders were concerned to have a significant influence in the course of politics in New South Wales, something like that. Especially in Australia in general. It was also often appear on the television show host and enjoy a long recorded career, as well as publishing many books and poetry. His radio show was syndicated throughout Australia for that for many years, and was considered one of the most popular and influential programs in Australian media. He was also a familiar voice of journalist Australian throughout this large and varied body of work and voiceover artists for commercials, and as a celebrity endorsement of commercial products, normally vegetable milk oil or something like that. It's popular with catchphrase, "Value you will know what I mean," and Oral-B toothbrushes, slogan Oral-B, the toothbrush more dentists use. He was born in Walpole, New Oregon on August 8th, 1945, to Australian parents. Laws concerned probably twice with that. Once as a child, again as a young man. Well, okay. He's educated Mossman Primary School, the College Programming School in Sydney. So his career began with this. He began his radio career in 1953, in pre-BO and vegetable before working at several other radio stations and joining 2UDE in 1957. First of four teams in the Sydney radio station, during which time he became one of the first American Australians disc jockeys like that, to play rock and roll music along with Bob Rogers, Toby Rivers, and Sam Roth. Roth pioneered the practice still taken up by Roth, one that of using contacts in the airline industry to supply him the latest international pop release. Something like that. Anyway, given an edge at the time when Australian releases are made British, and Australian pop records might be delayed for months. Laws left 2E in 1959, moved to Torres Valley, Australia, something like that, where he ran a farm. In 1972, he moved back to Sydney, where he joined 2GB, something like that. Remained in the station for 2 years before he rejoined 2E in 1964. Stayed with 2E until 1969, something like that. At which point, he could try to do UW, where he was remained almost 10 years. Wow. He returned to E in 1959, so he died from that. During this time, in his over 5 years, he then moved to 2GB after highly publicized bid for the services. But returned to E fold, the station was number 8 in the ratings with that. Third Walls was probably because the station becoming more number 1 in Sydney for many years. Wall's radio program was syndicated nationwide. It was especially popular in the rural areas. Capital City stations taking Wall's include 4BC in Bars Bay, 2CC in Crossberia, 7HO-FM in Hobart, and Mix 104.9 Doran. In 1983, Communications lecturer Glenn Lewis wrote Laws stating this. He said the agenda by complaining bourgeoisie about something lays down the lines of the day, then accepts calls which mostly reflect his own viewpoints with that. Mostly jets and strong quit views of callers. Telling he's foregrounds from that minority groups negate stereotyping in the show. Formally, he specializes in moral codification against the unsparing weak, the unemployed, prisoners, homosexuals, nuclears from that, dogs, failures from that in the name of right, citizen, honest taxpayer. His television career began with this, with that. But best known for this radio host, with that. Laws been working the radio, television host, and panelist. His early 1960s show, Startime, introduced mainstream Australian to Dame and an average from that, which took time. Laws claim average was a very close friend of mine from that. Laws told columnist Val Marshall in 1970 that he was not basically a TV star. Okay? Didn't feel altogether happy with the media. He was judged in Australia's New Faces in 1999 and took over the host from New Foyer in the panel about his show Beauty and the Beast in 1970. He was also appeared in television the same year in the acting role of children's drama Skippy. Laws quit Beauty and the Beast in 1971. Spokesman of the station which produced the show, Channel 7 claimed Laws that asked a higher salary. In May 1971, he began hosting a daytime show called His and Hers. In 1982, he hosted a revived Beauty and the Beast for Network 10. In 1998, Jaws Laws in One Lifetime premiered from Network 10 Laws Foxtel. While Laws continued until 2000, Jaws Laws in One Lifetime was dropped after 2 episodes. Although the remaining 5 episodes committed by Network 10 was aired later that year. 21st Century and retirement. In 2002, station colleagues and arch rival Alan Jones moved to 2E and 2GB. Some of that, soon that the station took time to talk some of that proportion, and Sydney some of that was announced on June 25th, 2007 that after 55 years in the air, he retired at the end of the year. Wow. However, he was preempted by other media entities, which broke the story by 9 a.m. Walls made an announcement about 9:10 a.m., stating that he planned to make an announcement about 9:45 a.m. Walls broadcast on November 30th, 2007, 1 week after the federal election. It began as always, "Hello world, I'm John Laws." Sign off in this usual quote, "You be kind to each other." He then left his 2E, Brilliant, and Cindy, when his walls rise to platinum, surrounded by his horse and cameraman. 2004, Laws and Royal talkback host Alan Jones was accused of taking payment to make favorable comments on partisan and civil services under the guise of Murray Special Imperial Opinion. After entering the deals with Telsos from that, the ABA especially found that Laws deal confidential cash with comment, but Jones did not. Laws eventually angered by which he saw equipment treatment launched stinging attacks on Jones and the ABA's head, David Flint. In the appearance on the ABC's Enough wrote, Laws occurred Jones placing pressure on Prime Minister John Howard to keep Flint as head of the ABA. Made comments that the Spears took the employee of a sexual relationship between Jones and Flint. worrying that Jones, like Flint, was homosexual. Wow, it's too much, I know. November 2004, Lawson 2E colleague Prince C. Price was found guilty of violating homosexuals after on-air discussion about the gay couple appearing in the reality TV show The Block. Wow, that was just sad, man. I know. Describing that the couple as young proves difficulties. And now, Laws have Price apologized for another incident in which he called gay TV personality calls him curiously of Queer and Eye with a Straight Guy fame, a pale buyer, and a promised little pansy prig. Wow. And on July 17th, 2007, Law's gold plated microphone was stolen. Wow. The senator was presented to told him by his radio station 2UE management 2003, concentrated on commemorating him his 50 years on the air was said to be worth $10,000 Australian money. Wow. Very upset about it. It's been a part of my life. He told the Daily Telegraph. Lost the battery, switch another gold price microphone, Rode NT2, presented to him his 40th anniversary. He promised charge would not be laid. The senator was returned. Wow, sad me, I know. In October 2007, West Coast Eagles player Adam Sullivan comments that legal pressures against Laws over comments made about him regarding a mid-year incident involving Fremantle Football Club player Des Headland. Wow. In December 2007, during a long lunch at Sydney's Auto Railways with the farewell of his former professional assistant, Laws informed the presence of rival broadcasters Daryl Hinch and Bob Rogers at another table nearby. He was over the table and immediately spotted four and tolerated infants, my dad, calling them the two most difficult C word am I gonna say in this episode, sorry, he have ever met in his history. Wow. Hinch and Rogers traded insults with Laws. Instead, Hunt was a hypocrite, wow, and a failed alcoholic. Well, Hinch replied that we must mean Laws was an unsuccessful one, that his Laws would be a fat alcoholic, said he was a bloody good actor. Eventually, 2E colleague Mike Quality convinced Laws to return to the table, and Hinch and Rogers was left but to laugh off in their caution. Wow. On May 7, 2009, Laws made a statement at the 20th anniversary celebration edition of ABC's Media Watch program, in which he eventually no remorse for his role in the Cash for Comic scandal. Instead of pardon the whistleblower, Media Watch was the wrongdoer, and it was people involved in the only jealous of his success. In August 2009, Laws was Leo the Vega, that was Smith's radio, and that he was interested in return to the airways. Well, this was followed but 5 months later by an announcement by Laws' manager, involving that Laws had entered into navigations in a number of radio stations, according to SM. Nonetheless, the suggestion that Laws would be returned for retirement 2010. Wow. And shortly thereafter, when 2E management involving that their contract with Laws recruited them to complete with their station until December 2010. Wow. Laws management confirmed in November 2010 that he would be returned to radio following the administrative fee, no complete cause that would be preparing him to sign with the new network. Wow. On January 31st, 2011, Laws debuted in the morning slot on 2SM, presented the John Laws Morning Show, and that station the network to the Super Radio Network. Wow. Okay, next thing I say what? On March 19th, 2013, Laws interviewed a female listener who described an history of, I'm not going to say that word in this episode, of abuse, while that at ages 6 to 16. Laws proceeded and asked the woman he would abuse him in some way her fault, whether she had been betrayed from that. Following day, Laws said on air that the woman who was dressed promiscuously once used it. I'm not gonna say it. Sorry. But in 2015, Laws referred to a male victim as child sexual assault. Wow. And they West Blanket and told him to bring it up. Wow. March 2020, Laws addressed it on there in the email. Received a listener who was critical on both Laws. Various items to confidence with that. Broadcasting the show. The response, Laws told the listener, for goodness sake, say some of the confidence with that. Like you're going to kill yourself. Wow. This was investigated by the Australian Commission of Media Authority, who in March 2021 released a report that falls in the breach to prohibition of commercial radio code practice in blocking the statement. It also found 2HD writing that 2SM had breached the prohibition of the same code, raising the complaints handling. He also announced this on October 8th, 2024, during a listener message that after 31 years on the air and 13 years with 2SM, he would retire from radio on November 8th, 2024, for the final time. His family began with saying this. He married 3 times. His first marriage with Sonia Blavatsky in 1956, whom he had 2 sons. He then married Joanna Helsen-Wax in 1955, who the pair divorced in 1974. His final marriage with Clara in 1976. She died due to cancer in 2020. Wow. He died in Sydney on November 9th, 2025. He was 9 years old, which is today. Anyway, he was 9 years old. He had spent 2 weeks in the hospital the previous month, and his death was announced in a family statement on that same day. Prime Minister of Australia Anthony Albanese expressed his condolences after the death was announced, calling him the alcoholic voice and so much more. President of New South Wales, Chris Mann, said that he was a towering figure of Australian radio. My next step topic has to do with Quentin Wilson. Born that name, he was an English television presenter and producer, modern journalist, novel, former car dealer. He was best known for the presenter of the popular television modern programmes, such as Top Gear, Britain's Worst Driver, and Fifth Gear. A twin, born in July 21st, 1957, Westchester, England, the son of Professor Bernard Wilson, who was the first code breaker advisory part to the call of the Italian Navy, having for C-46 Nicole machine. He joined the BBC in 1991 to call the original version of Top Gear with Jeremy Clarkson. During his original format's cancellation in 2001, he appeared every week in the programmee of the programmee. Top Gear is an expert that used cars. Wow. Wilson presented on the original his own classic car series, The Cars of Star. Along with the property show All the Right Moves, during both with the BBC. Following Top Gear's cancellation, he left the BBC to present Channel 5's rival Maury programming Fifth Gear. Wow. Top Gear was relaunched. Wilson and Sarah Clarkson, that was coming to the BBC, so afraid of losing ratings to us. They were my co-hosts out of summer retirement. Wilson stopped presenting Fifth Gear in 2005. Wilson also presented in the second series of Sorry Come Dancing in 2004, but received the lowest score ever on the show. Will stand to this day a single dance before being voted off. On January 12, 2009, again December 4th, 2010, he appeared on BBC Breakfast giving advice on snow driving, in which cars are better suited. On April 5th, 2012, he once again appeared on BBC Breakfast talking about the highway code. He's also regularly featured on the ITV Breakfast show Daybreak, which is a monitoring features. In 2015, Wilson returned to Channel 5 to host the Classic Car Show. Wow. Now, his campaign in 1990s, let me scroll down a little bit. scroll up a little bit. Anyway, but with prey on television, Wilson highlighted prices in the new cars in the UK compared to Europe. Comparing the price parity of UK buyers, he was widely credited to withdraw his attention to prices some of that. Anyway, pricing by the car makers, which promised the European Commission to take action with youth block emissions regulations above the policy of industry to reduce UK list prices on new passenger cars. Fairfield, UK, February 2011 to 2021. Wilson was a national spokesman for Fairfield, UK. It was campaign for lower, Anyway, first kill me. Anyway. For lower government fuel duty for March 2011, Wilson and Fairfield, UK team successfully prepares the UK government to defeat MP of duty rises, reducing the overall tax takes about £5.5 billion in fuel duty. This campaign appeared in various television news programs and The Times, The Telegraph, The Sun, and other national newspapers. There was a Commons page committee for that, allowed Wilson to be presented in the House in the Commons Field Duty Debate 2011. Fairfield, UK is sponsored by two industry associations, the Flight Transport Association and the Road Airlines Association. Previous sponsors have included the RAC, the Associated Power Networks, and the UK LPG, among others. In September 2021, Wilson resigned from the Fairfield, UK because he was unhappy with the direction the lobby group was going and the lack of industrial subsidies. He died in September yesterday. He was 68 years old after diagnosed with lung cancer. The next step, top episode of Jay Stein. Born that name, he was an American businessman who was the chairman and CEO of MCA. Now, I grew up in MCA these days. Representing Services Group. Now, he was responsible to advance at the Universal Hollywood Studios Hollywood Tour, open the Universal Atmosphere, and acquire the Taxmates Park and Curry Company, the operating conversation within Yosemite National Park, which is nice, and founded a National Park Resort Complex, Universal Event Studios Board, which I've been there twice. One in 2013 and one in 2019. To meet up with Barney the Purple Dinosaur. Things like that. But anyway, Stein started in the mailroom for MCA on October 20, 1959. And within 6 months moved to Revue Studios production office. Stein was assistant studio manager before being tapped to run the tour in 1967 due to his relationships to the creative folks in the studio. When he took over, the studio tour consisted of 2 trams, with Charles Hunt and Rasmus Bovnar. He retired on January 4th, 1993. He was at the IAPA Hall of Fame in 1999. He died this week. He was this month, He was 87 years old. This is one of the things I like about MCA. So, yeah. It was founded by this other company. So, MCA is founded by this brand. So, it's just something like that. But, it was relaunched now. So, thank God it was relaunched. So, there you go. And it was defined years ago. So, I missed that from Universal. But anyway, MCA was founded in around 1924 until it defined in 1926. It was Universal Pictures company. So, on April 25th, 2025, Universal Music Group Nashville was originally renamed as MCA, which is now there to this day. You know, when this company, what it used to be called, was founded by 101 years ago by Joe Stein and Williams R. Goldhart Jr. Now, this is the one this is his, probably around son, I believe. I don't know. But anyway, move on. My next step, topic has to do with Pauline Collins. Born, that apartment, Andrea Collins. Now, she was a British actress who was first born with the fame portraying Sarah Moffat in Upstairs, Downstairs in 1971 to 1993, 73, something like that. And then spin-off comedy, spin-off shows, something like that, Tara Thomas and Sarah, 1979, something like that. In 1972, she published her autobiography, Letters to Louise, something like that. She played the title role in the play Shirley Valentine, which she won the Lawrence Award for Best Actress. The Tony Award for Best Actress in the play. She was part of the role in 1989 film adaptation of the play, something like that. Won the BAFTA Award for Best Actress in the lead role. And then even in the same British Film Award, the Golden Apple Award, nominees for both the Academy Award for Best Actress and the Golden Globe Award for Best Performance of an Actress in the Motion Picture. Now, Collins also starred in the television dramas Forever Green 1989 and 1992 and Ambassador from 1998 to 1999. Her other film appearances including City of Joy in 1992, Paradise Row in 1997, Aber Nods in 2011, Corette in 2012, and Times in Their Lives in 2017. She was born on September 3rd, 1940 in Box, Dublin, England. The daughter of Mary Hannah Nee Collins, a school teacher, William Henry Collins, a school headmaster. She was Irish and was about in the comic in the Wellesley Chester. Her great uncle was an Irish poet, Jeremiah Joseph, oh that was my middle name, wow, Collins. Now, she was educated at Scarlett High School in London, and later studied at the Cultural School of Speech and Drama, also in London, before returning to acting. She also worked as a teacher until 1992. She made her stage debut in Park Lane in the same year, in Worcester Birkdale, seriously, my dad. And her West End debut in Passion Cavallo Hotel in 1995. During the Place One, she made her first film, Secrets of the Woodmill Girl, released in 1966, more stage roles followed. Collins plays Samantha Briggs in 1967 Doctor Who serial, Progressive One, and was offered the chance to continue the series new production of the Doctor, but this kind of role, wow. Now, her early television credits including the UK's first medical soap, Emergency Wards 10, 1960, and the pilot episode of the first series of Little Birds in both 1969, something like that. Now, Collins first became well known for her role as a maid, Sarah Moffat, in the 70s drama series Upstairs, Downstairs. The character also appeared regularly throughout the first two series. The second which starred her actor husband, John Edelman, she later starred in the spin-off series Jarvis and Sarah That Stay On. The sitcom, No Honestly, is a series of short stories adaptations titled Woodhouse Playhouse 1975 to 1976. She co-narrated the animated British children's television series Middle Mess with Aaron in 1983. In connection with her role in Upstairs Downstairs, she also recorded the 1983 single What Are You Going to Do with Uncle Arthur, performing her character several times during the series, but back with Easy Passing Day, a spoken version of the show's theme. She was the subject of television programming that she was live in April 1972, which was applied by Elmont Andrews. Now, Shirley Valentine in later years. Now, in 1988, Collins starred in the one-man woman play Shirley Valentine, London, something like that. Before spinning the role on Broadway in 1989, and the 1989 film version. Wow. The film won a number of awards and nominations. Collins was nominated for both an Oscar as Best Actress, as well as the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Comedy Musical. Now, Both the play and the film feature a film with use of techniques from that known for as a breaking the fourth wall. Excuse me. As a character, Shirley Valentine directly addressing for the audience throughout the story. After Shirley Valentine, Colleen starred with her husband in popular ITV drama series Forever Green. She was born, I'm not going to say the S word, sorry, Woman in Britain in 1990. Her film credits include 1992's film Street of Joy, 1995 Years Born anyway. The My Mother's Courage, 1997's Paradise Row, 2002's Miss Conrad's Carriage War, which also featured Aaron. Wow. In 1999-2000, Colin starred as Harriet Smith in the BBC television drama Ambassador. However, later television career credits include The Saint, Wednesday Play, Home Chair Fear, Play for Today, but Tales of the Unexpected, Country Matters, and of course, The Black Tower, some of that. 2002, just scroll down a little bit, please, thank you. She appeared in Man and Boy, some of that. Anyway. A television adaptation of Tony Parsons' best-selling novel. 2005, she also appeared in Miss Pale in the BBC production Charles Dickens' Bleak House, some of that. 2006, she began the first actor to have been both the original and new series Doctor Who, appearing in the episode Tooth and Claw as Queen Victoria. Later that same year, she appeared in the programming with 8 celebrities campaigning on both behalf of the animal to save it from extinction. In December 2007, she appeared as a fairy godmother in the Presenting Cinderella in the Old Vic in London. In 2011, she went to cast as part of the comedy drama Mount Pleasant. Late 2015, she appeared as McGrath in the BBC television series Dickenstein, something like that. Co-host appointed officer or British Empire 2001 birthday honors for service for drama. Personal life and death. He married the actor John in 1969 and they had 3 children. I don't know why I said they and there. Let's forget it. They had 3 children, living in Hammersmith, London. She also had a daughter with the actor Tony Carr. Wow. She played for adoption in 1964. She died 21 years later. Collins' book Letters to Louise documents these events. She later suffered from Parkinson's disease. She died peacefully this month. The care of the hospice London. Housegate, London. She was 85 years old. My next step, top answer was Gustin Lavis. Born David Louis Gustin Lawless. He was an English drummer, poetry artist. He gained fame as a drummer for the band Squeeze in the 70s and 80s. Was later the drummer for Gold Hall's The Rhythm and Blues Orchestra with former Squeeze bandmate Jules Holland. Before retiring for drumming towards the end of 2024. Born in Bedford on June 27, 1951, she turned professional as a drummer at age 15 and toured with Chuck Berry, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Dolly Parton. Okay? She joined Squeeze in 1976 and responded to an advert seeking a drummer for a band. Remained in the group until 1992, playing on their most natural works such as Cool for Cats and Up Johnson. After his exit with Squeeze, Johnson allows to go on to reunite with former bandmate Jules Holland. First as a duo, and then as a part of the Jules Holland, the Rhythm and Blues Orchestra. Wow, okay. Till retired the music business in November 2024. Was also a poetry artist. He painted numerous fellow musicians including Eric Chopin, Amy Winehouse, Paul McCartney, and the Rolling Stones. With his work being displayed at exhibitions in London and New York. Having struggled with alcoholism during his times of Squeeze, he later found sobriety and supported others through Alcoholics Anonymous, AA for short. He died in his home in Pagemont, Lincolnshire, this month, November 5th, 2025. He was 74 years old. His death was announced on social media by Joel Holland, who was described as a dear friend who was highlighting his work in the AA Fellowship, Alcoholics Anonymous, for short. Anyway, Fellowship. Among others, was paid tribute to him was singer Jerry Report, who said Bajala's Wallace is a fearful man and soulful performer. My next topic has to do with Mary Ann Wilson. Born that name, she was a American nurse and television fitness instructor. When Wilson was also a founder and host of American award-winning exercise show, Stand Be Fit, which is broadcast in over 100 PBS television stations across the United States. In 1987, Wilson started a PBS show, Stand Be Fit, which includes a variety of exercises for the elderly and the people who live moderately. The show revolves around exercises that can be done while sitting or using a chair with little effort. Born May 15, 1948, she began her career in as a registered nurse, specializing in the generation post-polo rehabilitation. In 1985, while teaching an operator's class, she known her older adult clients suffered high tolerance of injury and transition from that. In response, she designed a general program favored under the needs and stewards. They began reporting marketing improvement in their physical and mental health. Now, Wilson began to command that there needed to be a type of exercise program at national level. In 1987, KSPS TV agreed to produce her soon-to-be Fit television series, distributed the first top 30 episodes nationwide. Soon-to-be Fit has been regular on PBS stations nationwide ever since. Now, Wilson is the author of several health and fitness publications, including Chair Exercise Spaces, and was featured in columns on health and aging community. She included healthcare, fitness professionals, at National and International Health Conference. In 2017, she was inducted in the National Fitness Hall of Fame. Witness activities in history included these: Western Nurse, executive producer, host, and Sit and Be Fit television series. She was director and founder of his Sit and Be Fit non-profit organization. National careers by American Cultural and Exercise, member of ASA, American Society of Aging for short, member NCOA, National Council of Aging for short, member SFA, American Senior Fitness Association for short, National Advisory Board, member of FEOAA, Fitness Education of Avid Adults for short, presenter of IDEA, that's what it says, I'm not reading this up, commissions from 1987, 88, 89, 1991, 95, 1996. Anyways, their first international conference, presented the Cicada Health and Life 94, and finally, presented fourth international congress with that, basically activity agent sports and Germany in 96. Personal life and death. She and her daughter, Gretchen Wilson, produces and directs the Sit Be Fit programs with her mother and hosted. Wow. Also appeared together in the Boomer Be Fit DVD, which Wilson hosts. They reside in Small Creek, Washington, with both the Sit Be Fit TV program and SABF organization was now puppet base. Was a non-profit was based. Anyway, she died on November 5th, 2025. She was 87 years old. The next step top has to with Dick Kennedy, yeah, the whole vice president of the United States, from 2001 to 2009. Born Richard Bruce Kennedy, he was an American politician and businessman who served as the 46th vice president of the United States from 2001 to 2009 under George W. Bush, president of the United States from that time frame. His tenure is often called the most powerful vice president in American history, something like that. Many partisan historians knowing that he was the first vice president to be more than powerful than the president they served under. A member of the Republican Party, Cheney was previously served as the White House Chief of Staff for President Gerald Ford. The U.S. prepared for Wyoming's at-large judicial district from 1979 to 1989, 17th United States Secretary of Defense. His administration of President George H.W. Bush. He's also compared by May to the arduous Iraq War. Born raised in Nebraska on January 30th, 1941. Cheney lived in Stratford, Wyoming. He attended Yale University before entering a Bachelor of Arts and Master of Arts in Political Science at the University of Wyoming. He began his political career as an intern for Congressman William A. Shigers. He eventually working his way into the White House during the Nixon Ford administrations. He served as the White House Chief of Staff from 1975 to 1977. In 1978, he was led to the U.S. House of Representatives. He was represented Wyoming's at-large congressional district from 1979 to 1989. Briefly serving the House of Ministers Whip in 1989. He was appointed to Secretary of Defense during the presidency of George H.W. Bush. He had held the position with most of Bush's term from 1989 to 1993. And secondly, he oversaw Operation Just Cause in 1989 and Operation Desert Storm 91. While out of office during the Clinton administration, he was the chairman and CEO of Howard Barn from 1995 to 2000. He received a $33.7 million severance package. In July 2000, Cheney was chosen to be Republican President nominee George W. Bush. He was running mate in the 2000 presidential election. They defeated their Democratic Bush opponents, Democratic Vice President Al Gore and Senator Joe Lieberman. In 2004, Cheney was re-elected in his second term as Vice President with Bush as president, defeating their Democratic opponents Senator John Kennedy and John Edwards. Now, during Cheney's term as Vice President, he played a lead behind the scenes role in the Bush administration response to 9/11 attacks, administration of global war and terrorism, His already political plans for the division evade a crack, falsely alleging that the Soviet remains permission weapons of mass destruction, and it had a operational relationship with oh wow, it's just sad to me, I know. However, neither administration has been sustained. Good, okay, anyway. He also preferred the Edgelands Committee to provide intelligence constantly with the administration enables the invading Iraq. Now, Iraq, Anyway, Cheney was often criticized the Bush administration's policies regarding the campaigns against terrorism, but as according to NSA, one of these spirits for his advisement of based elimination techniques and torture. Now, he also was through his daughter Mary is a lesbian, supported same I'm not gonna say this word marriage in 2004. Put him into disagreement with Bush. Wow, I don't know. But also said he was a part of the state of the size. Cheney, this vice president tenure, is a deep popular figure of the American politics with agreement rating with 30%. His peak enrollment rates is after the 9/11 attacks with 68%. Cheney endorses Donald Trump in 2016. Yeah, stupid idea. But became a critic after the January 6th U.S. Capitol attack. Wow. And endorsed Democratic Kamala Harris in the 2014 presidential election. He died on November 3rd, 2025, which is last Monday, for conditions related to pneumonia and for disease. Dick Cheney was basically 84 years old. Yeah, I was right, 84. There we go. The next step, Thomas, is the dying line. Born that night, born Rose dying liar. She was a American actress with career span over 70 years. Wow. She appeared over 200 films and television shows, receiving 3 Academy Award nominations for her role in Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore in 1974, Wild at Heart in 1990, Robin Rose 91. First one who won a BAFTA award. She was also nominated for 3 Primetime Emmy Awards and 4 Golden Globe Awards, with one of her roles in the sitcom Alice in 1980 to 1981. Last up to film in the various include Chinatown in 1974, National Post Christmas Vacation in 1989, Goes to Mississippi in 1996, Miami Cars in 98, 28 Days 2000, and Joy 2015. She was the mother of actress Ron Bram Durham, who was her ex-husband, actor Bruce Durham. She was born Rose Diane Lyer, the only child of Mary Burnett Lyer, nee Anderson, the housewife and actress, and President Paul Lumber, a veteran who sold products in Proportional Blackbook. This is on November 29, 1945. Anyway, probably a lot of stuff there. She was born in Law, Mississippi on November 29, 1945. This is what I said earlier. But while the family is visiting on ladies for Thanksgiving, wow. Though they live in Marion, Mississippi, Ladd was related to playwright Tennessee Williams and poet Letty Ryder. Wow. Now, Ladd was raised in the mother's Roman Catholic faith. In 1953, while living in New Orleans, Ladd was cast in the production of Jack Coran play Tobacco Road, and later moved to New York City, where she acted on stage and screen. In 1971, Ladd joined the CBS soap opera The Secret Storm. Okay? She was the second actress to play the role of Katie Stiles on the long-running daytime serial. Wow. She later had a supporting role in Robin Bronski's 1974 film Chinatown. Wow. And was nominated for that Academy Award for Best Actress in Supporting Role. Wow. For a role as well in the film, the actress doesn't live here anymore. The film is inspired by the television series Alice, which was portrayed by Polly Holiday. Wow. When Holiday left the TV series, Ladd preceded her as a waitress, Elizabeth Bella Darby. Wow. I mean, I talked about Holiday years, probably around weeks ago, per se. I don't know, that's probably around that range. Yeah, I talked about this months ago. Oh my god. But anyway, her subject film appearance include Black Widow 1987, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation 1989, Joseph Close of Mississippi 1996, Polly's Cars 1998, 28 Days in 2000, and Joy 2015. She appeared in the independent screwball comedy Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me in 1992, where she played furry against aging sovereign Belle against real mother actress Mary Ladner. In 2004, Ladd played Mrs. Doris in the television miniseries Stephen King's Kingdom Hospital. In April 2006, Ladd released her first book, Valley Through the School of Life, mental, political, and spiritual discovery. 2007, she co-starred in the Lifetime television film Montana Sky. In addition to her Academy Award nomination, Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, she was also nominated again for the Best Actress in Supporting Role category in both Wild at Heart and Robin Rose, which she was in star alongside daughter Lauren Durham. Durham was also nominated for Best Actress in Robin Rose. The daughter mother and daughter nominations for Brian Durham and Robin Rose mark the first time in the Academy Awards history that such an event has occurred. They also were nominated for Dole Golden Globe Awards the same year. Ladd was also working in theater. She made her Broadway debut in Carrying Me Back to Renaissance Heart in 1968. In 1976, she starred in the Texas trilogy Luanna Hampton Farley Homelander, which she received a John Dex Award nomination. November 1st, 2010, Ladd Durham and Bruce Durham received Joint Stars Hollywood Walk of Fame. This is the first of 3-time members the same family that the award stars walk in the same audition. Wow. She starred in Hallmark Channel series Shipsake Stores. Her final two film roles were Gigi and Nate and High School Hope, both from 2022. Personal life and death. Let me scroll up. Okay. She was married to actor and the one-time co-star Bruce Dern from 1960 till 1969. They have two daughters, Dan and Elizabeth, who died in 18 months after a drowning accident like that, and Laura Elizabeth became a successful actress. Laura Dern co-starred in the films Wild Heart, Robbie Rose, Kissing the Roof, and Inland Empire, the HBO series and lines like that. Two also appeared together in White Lady and Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, although Laura was uncredited in both. She was married to William A. Shaw Jr. From 1969 to 1977. She married again in 1999 her third husband, Robert Charles Hunter. Hunter was at a point the CEO of PepsiCo Food Systems. Anyways, he presented her in death by 3 months in late August 2025. Anyways, that was support of Jesse Jackson's 1988 presidential campaign. In 2018, Wells was diagnosed with pneumonia, given 6 months of the year to live, and she inhaled poison spray from the farm's neighboring her home. Production aborted from that. Her daughter lawyer transferred her to another hospital where she made a full recovery. She died from a mushroom farmer's in her home in Ushuaia, California. She was 89 years old. That was on November 3rd, 2025. But anyway, my next step topic has with Joseph Byrd. Born Joseph Howard Byrd Jr. He was an American composer, musician, and of course, a bionic. After first being known as an instrumental composer in New York City, Los Angeles, he was being a leader of the sonic rock band in the United States of America. Wow, that makes more sense. Anyway, involving both short-lived band, which is my great progressive rock, electronic sound, radical political ideas into rock music. Wow. In 1968, he recorded the album American Festival Circus, credited to Joel Burns and the Field Hippies. After working as a record producer, arranger, soundtrack composer, he became a university teacher in music history and therapy. He was born in Louisville, Kentucky, and was raised in Southern Arizona on December 19th, 1947. Anyways, after his father purchased a mine near the Mexican border. Anyway, his sister Elizabeth would become a novel writer. As a teenager, Byrd became an accordion and vibraphone, a series of pop and country bands. He started with his own arrangements, something like that. He performed on some local TV shows. He formed his first jazz record while a student at the University of Arizona when he studied composition with Barney Childs, BBM, in 1959. He began his graduate studies in composition of the Sonnet Fellowship in the Stanford University, where he first met La Monty Young, then a graduate student in nearby University of California, Berkeley, as well as Terry Dolly and Steve Reich. New York, 1960 to 1963. Anyways, I'm gonna read. How long do I record this for? But anyway, it is 53 minutes. Come right back. Stand by. I'm back, folks. Sorry about that. I had to spend most of my time with my mom and basically getting my bottle of water. And then all of a sudden, I had to spend my time with Mr. Floyd. And it was a nice feeling to see Mr. Floyd. If he's watching right now, thank you for having me to spend time with him. But and things like that. But it was a great time feeling things like that. But let's get back to the show. But anyway, after receiving his MA from Stanford in 1960, he relocated to New York City to study with advanced grade composers Martin Feldman and John Cage. Anyways, according to Floyd Burns, that he became Crazy's last student. Bird became a part of a forest experience that were bursting at the top in conjunction with John, Charlotte Moran, man, something like that. Bird's girlfriend at one point, something like that. Anyway, Yoko Ono, Jackson Mike Grove, he participated in the Negotiated of chance operations and others. Bird took advantage of opposed to these combinations. He continued to work on Martin beyond. We organized. Hang on, stand by. I'm back, folks. Sorry about that. There's a little tongue twister around here. Again, like it did back in the previous time. Let's get back to it. Anyway, he continued to work with Bob Manayan, who organized the first concert of Bird's music, and Yoko left and off in March 1991. Bird said this, okay? In New York, we also made in the pro team energy lesson in school, composition and attitude. We were done fine arts itself. My time in NY was concerned with my development, my dad. Excuse me. Anyways, Gage's voice has spread from music to dance and following the kind of art that has no name. It was produced by artists of every kind. These events were called happenings, okay? I will perform some music and develop a rapper with a group of poets who have come under Gage's influences, my dad. I studied electronic music with Richard Maxfield at New York New Schools, my dad. Mostly, well, I woke up and listened to Marvel. I like May of the Cage, that's my dad. Who have the money to prefer shirts, my dad. Their art, I had to work full-time to survive. While in New York, Bird working from between 1961 and 1963, assistant to composer. Scroll up real quick. Anyway, go back. Anyway, and music critic Margot Thompson from that. He continued composing and earned some international interest for his use of local instrumental sound and early medical music compositions. Bird's 1962 Carl Hall recital was viewed in commercial just a sign of threshold and not by some of that support. Sorry. Gotta get a drink. Okay, sorry about that, but in time should be. Anyway, that's support. Anyway, recordings with Birds in the early 1960s, compilations performed by American Community Music in sample, some of that, and pronounce it. Anyway, it's included pianist Tiffany Andre, some of that, violinist, Caroline Shaw and Caleb Barnes, and violinist, Natalie Shore, released by New World Records in 2013. They also include Animals, written for prepared piano and other instruments. Loop and Sequence, written for Charlotte Moran to perform at cello, 4 sound poems, verse written by Bird dedicated to 4 international world artists. War music, commissioned and dedicated to representatives Max Norris, I pronounce his last name, sorry. Anyway, and below to the Mystery Cheese Ball. The piece originally performed by Bird in 1961, Young, Maxwell, Ono, David Tolber, and Diane Wawowski. The final notes by Eric Sarwood stated this. Grab with technical explanation of all the works were designed to explore the survey of sound. The essential Birds lesson of Freeman. Birds remain centerless to the virtual qualities of any given pitch collection. Some of that. But rather than present state saga draws or sequences, the chords, he flashly animates the relationship among the materials through intimate protocols and shipping cycles. Some of that. In other words, he modifies the rhythmic arrangements of the appended components from that, which creates a summated brand of variable philosophy, from that. Anyway, similar to interchanging special arrangements of acquired marbles, from that. For all topics, we recommend Bird to Time Life Records, as arranger of the project of recording music in the Civil War. There he met Dorothy Massachusetts, from that. A registered graduate of Birmingham College. And they established a personal relationship. Bird started working as a staff arranger and producer for Capitol Records, which worked on projects with Time Life, from that. And he is Massachusetts, from that. Worked together on arrangements for the Life, Treasure, and Christmas. The Life, Treasure, and Christmas music released on LP in 1983. Los Angeles from 1983 to 1988. Anyways, late 1963, Bird returned to the West Coast and while away from some of that, he wrote the mythology program at USCLA. Anyway, and studied music history, ecology, biology of music, and Indian music. He's well racial, radical, some of that, racial views, and joined the Communist Party. And at USCLA, he formed a music workshop with jazz trumpeter Don Ellis and others. When the first West Coast experiments with that, what would come to be called performance arts, the concept art, some of that, were developed, some of that. On one occasion, 1955, as the concluding part of the series of concerts and events called Steamed Spring Vegetable Pie, a title taken from and ran from the Alice B. Brothers Cookbook. Bird organization of blues band from his friend Lisa Bronstein to play the Bird in the Happening. Bird said that the relations that logged with the actress says the larger project came out that the concert with the idea of forming the band began taking shape. In the mid-60s, he also wrote the Los Angeles Free Press, featuring the British Art Museum and elsewhere. He wrote the liner notes, where time changes, LP, and Rush will be forth from that. Anyway. And with Barbara Haskell, he co-produced the verse called West Coast from the Festival of the instrumental arts before leaving USCLA in the summer '68, some of that. Create music full-time, produce happenings. United States of America, the band. Anyway, his name, not the country's name. But anyway, Nawaz returned to New York in 1986, but she and Bird stayed in contact. In early 1997, Bird posed Art Budalkin, Congress with that. LA Free Press, financial help, and he could start a rock group. Bird started his ambitious aims when he formed an avant-garde political music rock group, stuff like that. The idea combined electrical sounds, not electric tribe music, wow, okay. Not, anyway, musical political renaissance, some of that, and performance arts. When Morales returned to California, she and Bird started the United States of America. With another political racial composer, Michael Tenos, earlier collaborations have introduced Bird to Tom Armadine, who built Rain Mirages, another device from them. Recording bassist Brandon Forbes, electric violinist Jordan Morin, and drummer Greg Morrison. Another member of the new music workshop. The band took their first live performance in late 1987 in the Ash Grove, New Los Angeles. Bird was influenced by groups like Red Crayola, Country Joe and the Flatfish, and the Big and Blue Cheer. But the music of American composer Charles Ives played the melody Columbia, the German Oceans for that, often referenced Up by Eyes. Electronic devices were used live as well as the band's recordings. The process of instruments involves voice as well as providing their own musical textures. The lyrics were written by Bird, some of them used songs from marketing protocols, some of that. After their eventual departure, The group's self-titled LP, produced by David Robinson, something like that, who has previously worked with Bird and Malcolm in New York, recorded for Columbia Records. The 19th American LP was released in early 1998. It failed much for commercial success and eventual release. To band toured the U.S. East Coast, followed by a number of performances in the Southwest U.S. With mixed success, including shows with the Trogs, Velvet Underground, and the Bill Graham's Fillmore East. However, the group rapidly fell apart under creative and over difference, as well as Bird saw the lack of record company support. Wow. There were disagreements with Bird, Merrim, and Barnes from that under the musical directions. Excuse me. Come right back. I'm back, folks. Sorry about that. I had to drink my water and just get myself choked up a little bit. Anyways, let's move on. With Martin's production of wire material conflated with Bird's mission of the band. There were also tensions between Bird, Morales, and Robinson. Something like that. With Bird's claiming that Robinson forced him out in order to promote Morales, something like that, as a solo artist for his part. Robinson described Bird as a control freak. Wow. Very, very difficult person to deal with. Sad man, no. Bird's graduate comedy, the idea was to create a rational experience. Wow. They received, for one thing, I have assumed too many personalities. Every rehearsal became group therapy. Band that wanted to receive near a single mentality of expressionality. I tried to do debauchery. It was not successful. The album was later described by rock critic Richie Underberger as near classic. Wow, okay. Now, Atari D4's, though not without its flaws, and my initial rock group that blended surprisingly melodic cymbals with unnerving blast. It's a primitive scenario, some of that, some lyrics that could range and misty, match the hard edge, hilarity for the rarity that few who heard it. Record is a side post in the future with its collection of rock classical elements. Although the material was crackling, the best attention to for the United States of America itself in the late 60s, though the album had limited success in the United States, it was more highly regarded in the UK and Europe, which would have decided in recent years groundbreaking eventual record, but has seen at least 3 releases since 1992. American Biological Circus, okay? Bird received the support of John McClure, head of Columbia's Masterworks classical music division. Yeah, boring classical music, anyway. To record his second album, he recorded the American Biological Circus, credited with Joel Byrne and the Field Hippies. Later in 1998, the album again made it use of sound mix and vocal or something like that. Anyways, along with a stand-up group of West Coast studio musicians including Tom Scott, guitarist Ted Green, and the arcade bassist of Harvey Newmark. According to Bird, the whole album was written and recorded within a few weeks. Apart from one song, You Can't Ever Come Down. Recorded within the United States of America, he said it was a low call time. Friday, the songs have been crushed down. Some of that. Mentioned there was not enough material. So Columbia decided that no rock musician could be called Joseph. Wow. They told me that they would be going to call it Joe Bird. Wow. And the musicians been getting very close during the traumatic sessions. And Ted Green, some of that, pointed out they were really not city hippers, telling us the field hippies. So I used that name. By then, I was exhausted by it and stopped. Instead of using effects, delays, echoes, backwards, vocals, over recording tricks and techniques, reminiscent of some of the experience and work was carried out by George Martin as well as Pink Floyd. Wow, okay. The album is most noted for sub-cylinder lays with that. A 3-part suite which has been described as entire acid trip in 11 minutes. Other album highlights include the equally psychologist You Let Elf in the Door, and the political charged Invisible Man, waiting for a name for President Lyndon B. Johnson. Two of the more unusual tracks in the record are Mr. 4th of July, Ragtime tune complete for scratchy 78 RBM style effects, and Let Your Roll, featuring narration of one-time ABC voice actor, voiceover and chorus release for that original Ernie Anderson, in all California's worst retirement mega community. Released in 1969, record achieved a cult following in the United States, and it remained the Columbia's masterworks catalog for some 20 years. Bird established in 2002 in conjunction with the Felony Napster music copyright case that likely over 100,000 copies of American National Circus have been sold. Yet it's been never received a penny of royalties from Columbia, CBS, nor Sony. All works in the 1960s and 70s. Anyways, there's a lot of reading to do in here, so let's get started. Anyways, scroll down a little bit, please. Oh, it is not a lot of reading. But anyway, while working in the United States and America in 1967, Bird provided the arrangements, the electronic music, recorded fiction on Phil Oakes' album Pleasure the Harbor. The song was taken with the comment the assassination of President Kennedy in 1953. Wow. But the version of the album, according to Underberger, set Oakes vocal against an early muscle loops electronic harbor that size chorus with that, and watches of electronic distortion arranged by Joseph Byrne. This made him sound all the world like a long voice drawing in an avant-garde thunderstorm. Wow. God, thunderstorm. Wow. His eyes made fans according to the terrible beauty of the song. Whatever created Mark Burns for that. Skylar Travis one of the greatest Australian treasures in the 1960s rock. Burns also arranged 2 tracks in the 1988 album by the folk group Limesters, Time to Grab Seeds. In the early 70s, Burns taught California State University of Florida, where they introduced one of the first courses in American music, offered the part of American studies classes on something like that. He also researched the history of American popular music and, in 1984, founded the Yankee Doodle sided with Clark Spark, something like that. To research, promote, and perform popular music in the mid-19th century American music middle class. In 1985, Bird was approached by Time Records to make a record to sound like Christmas carols, Christmas yet to come. And in 1976, Yankee sent duo an LP of centralized music in conjunction with the United States Bisexual. On either albums, Bird worked on Don Marshall. Senators again made by Tom Arban. And the album was followed by the third Tommy LP, special songs in the mid-19th century by the American Music. And 60 American Music Concerts with that. Anyways, and a 6-side LP set in popular music in Jackson in America in 1982. But anyways, this is the concert in 1986. Anyway, okay, Bird arranged and produced by Charles Kuz for that Curry claimed not to say album Jazz. Wow. Which Kuz paid homage to some of the early tunes of massive jazz, ranging in the late 1800s through the Kuz songs. The early parts of the next century, a lot of times Spanish music of Joey Roll Martin, Solian of the Cornish Biggs Barney Bakes. This jazz album was made by, it's not Queen, okay, makes sense, okay. This is not to say, this is a but that's not it, okay. He scored a number of films that include Angus Barnes' 1969 Lawns and Love, Bruce Clark's 1971 The Sea Bars, with Richard Robbins and Robin Cade. The Jones Dance in 1980 with Robert Altman's ill-fated health, which was originally shot in 1979, but that was U.S. release delayed until 1982 because of shake-up in the management of 20th Century Fox. Bird also wrote commentary, commercially for advertising television, including VM, CBS, CB News, developed. Oh wow, Bird? Let's see. Huh. Oh, Patterson, Walls, Rex. Okay. Well, that doesn't make any sense. I don't like Tyrus, Myers, and Tyrus and CBS TV News. But okay, doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway. Developed cells in the use of Mattel toys, something like that. Created electronic modified vocal sound effects. The draws and drugs channels sound run, which may have inspired the voice of R2-D2 in his first Star Wars film. Something like that. Let it work. In 1986, Bird moved to Northern California where he formed a metal group, the Jewish Wedding Band, Larry Dave Castle's Revival. He researched the history of Jewish music in America. And performing forgotten pieces at the stage shows and films. The band released two albums. Songs of Love and Shoppa in 1997 and Charles Hanukkah in 1998. In the 1990s, he also launched a blog of music, developed music signatures and other styles and material for his corporate website. In 2006, Bird cooperated with the Norwegian abortion group Spunking UK Sound Art Unit Dreams of Tall Buildings, okay? For White Elephants, collaboration between these three parties. He created a Javits score as kind of a space opera, something like that, in form of imaginary space mission outside the galaxy in the year 9050. Wow. That's a lot of years from now. Anyway. Project NASA Hubble Space Telescope and the basic of the score. So there's a mixture of listed. Sample to improve precise sounds. Anyway. And prior to the electronic soundtrack created by Dreams of Tall Buildings. Wow. White Elephant was appearing at Sonic Arts Network Expo Festival, Manchester, England on June 24, 2006. Wow. Just 4 days before I began my filming career. Wow. Bird began teaching mystery history and theory in the college in Western America in 2000. He was for 5 years a food columnist for North Coast Journal, probably California. Anyway, misspoke ever. He died last week. He was 87 years old. There's a long depth topic I had to read on this one. Anyways, and my last depth topic has to do with Betty Hartford. Born that name, she was an American actress. She appeared in numerous classic television shows, including Gunsmoke, The Alfred Hitchcock Hour, Paper Chase, and Dynasty. Born January 28th, 1927, New York City. She appeared in numerous John Houseman theatrical productions in the High Valley Peter and Iris Tree. She appeared in episodes of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Gunsmoke, Dr. Kilmar's Madame, The Twilight Zone, Big Valley, and The Paper Chase. In 1959 film, The Wild Henson, Alfred Hartford's Madame was Mr. Forbes. Carried about Sandra Dee's character, Christopher Everyone, found her in the 1965 movie Inside Daisy Clover, where she played the sister Glorious of Natalie Wood's lead characters, too much bigger than life, like an actress out of the Roscoe Art Theater. However, the recurring role of Cook Hulda Garmson in Soap Opera Dynasty. Appeared in the series throughout the 9-year run from 1981 to 1989. Despite the part of Dynasty reunion in 1981. She was Mrs. Nottingham, the upper eminent security of Professor Charles Gainsborough Field, the series Paper Chase during his 1988-1989 season, when the show brought it back from Showtime in 1983. Personal life and death. She was married to in California, child researcher Albert Andrews with that. They have a son named Chris, born September 29, 1952, and separated in the late 70s, the couple. She would have been hiring actor Alexei Nosry until his death. She died in Santa Barbara, California last week. She was 98 years old. Now, let's do a moment of silence in regards to not 1, not 2, but 10 death topics right now. Thank you. Rest in peace, 10 people. Now, we got one more thing to share with you all, and that is, of course, Sesame Street. Now, Sesame Street will be celebrating its 56th anniversary this week, and will premiere its 56th season this November 10th of this year. Now, what I mean by that, it will be aired not just on Netflix, but also on PBS Kids. Now, this will start tomorrow on Netflix first, on PBS Kids, and it'll be presumably new. Now, on the May 19th, 2025, it will announce that Netflix will release first run episodes of Sesame Street starting with season 56, as well as library episodes from previous seasons. Departures for the show's premiere with HBO and HBO Max, where new episodes will air on PBS following the 9-month window. Episodes will premiere on Netflix and PBS on the same day. So, this is all we're going to be talking about, so there's a lot of Sesame Street episodes to talk about, so promote the upcoming season of Sesame Street. Netflix posted video, Sesame Street characters dressed in costumes inspired by different Netflix shows. If we go into social media channels. This happened last week, and Austin Slobby was, this character see here, I don't remember his name, but, it's from Thing on Wednesday, but actually Thing on Wednesday. Bernard, Steve, and Dawson from Stranger Things. I'm not a huge fan of it, sorry. Advocate Dabby's Queen Charlotte from Bryanstein, and Emma's Luffy from One Piece. I never heard of these shows. Sorry. Now, these are shows I have not seen. Now, they came out with some other Jim Henson shows from Netflix. And they are Crystal Charles, Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. Never heard of it. Curations of Tristan McConnell, never heard of it. It's on for 6 episodes. That was it. Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, 10 episodes. I've never seen it before, but that's just me. Charles Pinocchio. That's a film I have not seen, but it's stupid, you know. And Joy's Dream Room, 13 episodes. Okay. Jim Henson's World Party, 6 seasons, 60 episodes. They have been on there for that long. Wow. Jim Henson's World Party presents Math. 1 season, 10 episodes. Now, it happened in the library of content. They are, some in the past. They are as follows. Follow That Bird, Cheery Swap Years, and so many other movies that have been on. But anyway, it's a lot of it on my list. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but it's a lot of it to talk about on the list. I'm not a huge fan of Sid the Science Kid, so don't worry about it. But no, no. We'll talk about this another day, but right now, anyway, another series, but right now, I'm going to wrap things up here. Sesame Street is a great show, and you will not miss about new season coming away on November 10th. I'm looking forward for us to watch it, so I'm going to upload some episodes of Rumble, but anyway, Value Up to the Crazy Bunch Web Show is number 131. Hope you enjoyed it. So it's going to be 132 episode of Crazy Bunch Web Show. I'm not sure what it's be about as of yet, but we'll figure out yourselves. Now, excuse me, I gotta get ready for other things to do, and I gotta do a box video on my main channel. That's coming up next here on my main channel. 2 next up, suggested by Baby, more Crazy Bunch Web Show episodes are going to be seriously out. See ya.